Well, good evening out there, or a good afternoon, or I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm glad you got YouTube. Make sure you share this on YouTube with your friends. We're Smoky Mountain Music Creations, and tonight we have a real special treat here. Dr. Hall is here. Dr. Hall is releasing his new album from Smoky Mountain Creations on the 30th of this month. Dr. Hall, can you tell us what this is about?
Yeah, this is an album that's written largely about topics associated with coming back to wherever you grew up. So the title of it's "A Long Road Home," which is also a song, but the cover of it is really a cool story. And I went to school at a place called Firth, Idaho. I grew up in the country, and one of my classmates, her name is Kathy Cook, now Haggard, took this picture a few years ago and put it up on Facebook, and I thought, what a great picture. I mean, here this picture was, and this is of Collett's. This is the only bar in the town of Firth, and this happened to be her husband sitting outside Collett's with his horse and dog. And I thought, what a great picture. So I got her permission to use this. And Collett's is quite an interesting place, started in the Depression era, and it's been through 3 or 4 generations of the Collett's family. But when I was a high school kid, I used to cut lunch and go up there and buy a sandwich or a burger. And, you know, the original owner, Grant Collett, was the guy who was running at that time, and he would cook that burger, and, you know, he'd put it up with us whippersnappers, and so it was quite an interesting place. But, yeah, so this is a cool song.
Well, good. Would you all like to hear it out there? Howard, can we play that for him?
You bet.
I'd leave school for lunch, walk to Roosevelt in Maine. Came in with $1, it was always the same. Grant would be there, giving me a hard stare. What can I get for you, son? I said, a burger, well done. Come down to Collett's for a burger and beer. You'll never know who you'll find here. There's drinking, there's pool, money to go round. Come down to Collett's, it's the best bar in town. I see the Clain is here, looking a bit haggard. Spent the day in the field, driving his tractor. When the evening comes, it's time to unwind. He saddled up his horse, rode a 2-mile ride. Down the Collett's for a burger and beer. You'll never know who you'll find here. There's drinking, there's pool, plenty to go around. Come down to Collett's, it's the best bar in town. Collett's has been around, their service is fine. Been the town bar serving whiskey and wine. There used to be a dance hall on the 2nd floor. There were slot machines on the ballroom floor. Yeah, come down to Collett's for a burger and beer. You'll never know who you'll find here. There's drinking, there's pool, plenty to go round. Come down to Collett's, it's the best bar in town. Alright, let's sing it. Come down to Collett's for a burger and beer. You'll never know who you'll find here. There's drinking, there's pool, plenty to go round. Come down to Collett's, best bar in town. The best bar in town, don't you know it? best bar in town. Come on down, friends.
Okay.
Howard's new album, The Long Road Home. And I see that dog tag you're wearing. It says The Long Road Home.
It does. This is actually made by one of our artists and musicians and artists here in town. His name is Mexico Lopez, also known as Freddie Lopez, a great harmonica player, and he does his silver work. And you can see what it says. What does it say, Mike?
The Long Road Home.
Oh, yeah. So
Dr. Hall.
That's a cool thing. Yeah, he made that for me. I really appreciate it. But, yeah. So that's the first song.
Okay.
Come Down to Collins.
And that's about Howard's childhood when he used to sneak out school lunch and go have a sandwich. But I see he's singing about burger and beer later in the song. Do you want to tell me about that 14-year-old dropping into college?
Well, you know, it's a little bit more like a burger and Coke, but a burger and beer rolls off your tongue a lot better. And it's a lot more applicable to my friends in Perth. Applicable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like I had a beer here today. But yeah, college is an interesting place. It really is. We used to rent, they used to have an old theater right next, and they owned the old theater. And it was a vaudeville era theater. And we rented it when we were teenagers, had a rock and roll band, and we called it Fillmore Firth. And we rocked Fillmore Firth as much as you can rock a town of 366 people.
So you were the guitarist for a band. You were doing rock and roll back in those days.
I was a bass player, yeah.
Bass
Playing
player.
bass, yeah, back in those days.
Yeah. You know, I was in a garage band, and I was there for one session before they kicked me out, and I told them I can't play guitar, but maybe a bass that's only got 4 strings.
That's what I thought, you know.
So,
a little easier to deal with. I kind of stuck with it, you know.
Okay.
But, yeah.
well, this is a great album cover. I love the horse on there, hanging outside the bar. And, you know, a country girl could get into a place like that.
Country Girl could.
A country girl. Now, didn't you release a single called Country Girl?
I did. Here about a
Couple
year
years?
and a half ago, I released a song called Country Girl. And the song is done really well online as far as digital downloads and CDs and everything. So it also fit nicely in this album. And so, like a lot of songs that songwriters write, some are fiction, and some are fact, and some are a combination of the above. And so 97% of this song is fact about a woman who's a friend of mine in Idaho. And all of the verses, all of the attributes, and all the things in this song are true about this woman. You know, so pretty awesome.
Well, I love country women. I got one. She used to go branding with me. So let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, so let's see if we can get this to work.
My country girl, living in the country world, at the mud bog, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dogs and under the trees. I love that country girl, she's my world. She shoots a pistol, a rifle too. There isn't very much this girl can't do. She can fix the plumbing, she can haul the hay. When it's time for loving, she has her ways. My country girl, living in a country world, at the mud bog, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dogs and under the trees. I love that country girl, she's my world. She's tall and lean, wearing country jeans, fancy boots are on. She's ready for some fun, going out on the town, posse around, dancing the night away. Believe me when I say, my country girl, living in the country world, at the mud bog, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dogs and under the trees. I love that country girl, she's my world. in a country world at the mud bar, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dog, sitting under the trees. I love that country girl, she's my world. She takes care of her mama, she takes care of her friends, she takes care of her family. Her love never ends. She asks for rocks at Christmas. She loves to fish the streams. She loves her country living. She's the girl of my dreams. My country girl, living in a country world at the mud bar, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dog, sitting under the trees. I love that country girl, she's my world. She has a heart of gold, she has a will of steel, she has a smile that shines, she's the real deal. She says, "Hee-haw," on a Friday night, her dancing boots on, she's a shining light. She loves the songs I play, she's with me every day. My country girl, living in a country world at the mud bar, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dog, sitting under the trees. I love that country girl, she's my world. At the end of the day, she goes home her way, no cable to be found, love abound. On the weekend she goes to her hideaway in the tall green trees and the fresh mountain breeze. She's doing what she please. My country girl, living in a country world at the mud bar, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dog, sitting under the trees. Love that country girl, she's my world. My country girl, living in a country world at the mud bar, fishing in the creek, taking care of her dog, sitting under the trees. I love that country girl, I love that country girl, I love that country girl, she's my world.
Country Girl, little Smoky Mountain music creation by Dr. Hall. Yeah, I was thinking about hauling hay when I was in college, and only like to haul hay in the middle of August, I think.
Yeah.
My cousin and I would be out there all day, and I remember the farmer's daughter we used to haul hay from, bringing out refreshments
Ooh,
the afternoon and
Ooh.
trying to find a shady spot for a few minutes.
pretty
It
nice.
was sweet.
Yeah, we used to haul hay 3 times a season in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
3 crops, but it's great. This is a great song, a lot of fun. A lot of people are really have given me a lot of great feedback on this song. A lot of people see themselves in this song, or see someone that they grow up with, or are a country girl themselves.
Well, I know growing up here in New Mexico that there's a lot of us that have experienced country girls and the love that they have and the way they care and the hard work they do. So I'm glad to have that song.
And they're hot. They're hot. Oh,
My wife's going to listen to this, Howard.
Okay.
I can't tell you about the other things with the farmer's daughter.
And those country girls are hot. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay.
Now, you play some different kinds of music. It's not
Right. I really heard that as like a Nashville tune. You know, and
That's-
most everyone on this, a matter of fact, everyone on this album are all local New Mexico musicians, with exception of one who is a New Mexico musician that spends most of his time in Nashville. But one of your old neighbors did the steel guitar work on that, Dave Devlin.
Dave?
Yeah, he did mandolin and steel guitar, and just did an amazing job with that, and just put his touch to that. So I appreciate that.
Well, and you bring up a good point. As I was listening to your albums, thinking about doing this, how full your sound is. You know, I know several musicians, and they're generally a one-man show, And there's some very talented one-man shows out there.
True.
But the way you bring in other artists and other musicians, I know that you play several string. What all string instruments do you play?
Well, I play guitar, and I play, acoustic guitar, slide guitar, electric guitar, bass guitar. I play a little mandolin, nothing at all like Dave Devlin, by the way. That's why Dave comes in and plays the mandolin on the records. And I play banjo, and really I'm learning. I would say I'm learning the mandolin, banjo, and ukulele.
Oh, the ukulele. That is new for you, isn't it?
So that's new, but a lot of it is just playing around and kind of seeing what's available for the. It's like painting a picture, like that picture behind you. There's a lot of different colors in the picture, so there's a lot of different voices that musical instruments provide. And if you can get someone like a lot of the artists that came in and recorded on this album to come in and play, you get the best of that sound, and that's what I try to do.
Well, I love the fullness and richness of your albums. But you're going to change from kind of a Nashville sound now to more of a blues?
Yep.
Oh, the Worried Man Blues?
The Worried Man Blues. So this is down dirty blues, and this is probably 70% true of this. But it's a good down dirty blues tune, little slide guitar, some blues harp, Michael Handler on a blues harp, and Ollie O'Shea on the violin. So should we play it?
I love hearing a harp. So.
Been working all day, playing music all night. Bills are piling up, I can't sleep at night. Got 3 little babies depending on me. The clock is ticking, it's 2:45. I'm a worried man, a worried man. I'm a worried man, a worried man. I'm a worried man, a worried man. I'm doing the best I can, a worried man. Well, a woman ran off with my best friend. She's my hard luck and trouble to the bitter end. I called my baby on the telephone. Give me one more chance to come on home. I'm a worried man, a worried man. I'm a worried man, worried man. I'm a worried man, a worried man. I'm doing the best I can, a worried man. It's a lonely road, lonely road, lonely road. It's a lonely road, lonely road, lonely road. The sun is up, it's a beautiful day. I'm learning to live in a different way. The drama queen is gone, things are better for me. I'm I'm alive and well, happy and free. I'm a worried man, a worried man. I was a worried man, worried man. I'm a worried man, a worried man. And I did the best I can, a worried man. It's a lonely road, lonely road, lonely road. It's a lonely road, lonely road, lonely road. I'm not going back again.
All right. Worried band. I just about forgot my blues. I got my hat. Almost forgot my blues shade. Man.
Well, it is a long road home, and he was on a lonely road, but he got in his blues attire while we were there.
That's right.
So I'm glad you got caught up with us. But I was so up with Country Girl, and now I got this blues, and now you got this dark place coming up. What's this next song all about?
Well, you know, the truth is that life is made of ups and downs. And there's not a person that hasn't experienced both ups and downs in your life. I definitely have. And the way we experience them is entirely up to us. So this next song I wrote on a situation that was a big down for me, something I dealt with for years and years and years. And that was a topic of lung cancer. So I found out in 2013 I had an issue, and I dealt with that for years and years and years without sharing that with anybody, and until last year that the situation was that I had to go in for some surgery and have that lung cancer removed. And so at that point in time it was like, what do you do with that? You know, do you keep it to yourself, keep it quiet, or do you share? And some of the things I've seen of different people, different celebrities, and that opt to share their situation turned out to be a very positive thing for them and the people that they shared them with. And so, and that was my experience. But I was getting ready to go in for this major surgery, have this cancer removed and part of my right lung removed. And doc said this is a major surgery and it's going to take a while to get back. So I opted to put it out on Facebook because I was going to disappear for a while. And I didn't want people to think I was disappearing for a different reason. And what I got out of that, Mike, was unbelievable. The amount of support and the amount of love that came to me, and the amount of positive messages, or even where I was going to have the surgery, even with the surgeon that did the work on me, people that had the same surgery with the same surgeon, it was just unbelievable the response I got, and it just made me, quite honestly, made me cry. And it was a tough thing, but you know, got through it and wrote this song, and then since I put this song out a couple weeks ago and had a tremendous response from this song, because the song's all about reaching out to others and providing help to others and those kind of things. And one of the things that's happened since I've done that is I've had several different friends from the past reach out to me and share with me some of the things that are going on in their life. Even yesterday at the Cowgirl, I had a friend who called me and said, and she had lost her husband in December, you know, and it was very, very tragic, and she wanted to meet and just kind of talk. And it was like, you know, so it's awesome, I think, that people relate to the song and kind of make it their own song, and it helps them to deal with whatever they're dealing with. So enough talk, huh?
Enough of that.
Let me just dial this up. And
Smoky Mountain Music Creations, Dr. Hall.
The Power of Us.
was in a dark place, been there for years. I had a secret in my life, it brought many tears. I didn't share it with others, not with friends or family. It hurt to talk about it, it was all I could see. Reach out to family and friends. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to cleanse. There'll be tears, sorrow, some bad days, my friend. The power of us is love without end. Day finally came when it was time to move on. I looked all around me, tried to be calm. I looked inside myself to face another day. I knew down deep inside there was another way. Reach out to family and friends. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to cleanse. There'll be tears, sorrow, some bad days, my friend. The power of us is love without end. I reached out to family and friends. I let them know there was much more to see. I asked for their prayers, anything they could do. I cried at what they gave me. The power of love is true. Reach out to family and friends. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to cleanse. There'll be tears, sorrow, some bad days, my friend. The power of us is love without end. Reach out to family and friends. Reach out. Don't be afraid to cleanse. Reach out.
All right.
What an honor it is to sit here
You're
with
my
a fellow
best
survivor.
friend. My best.
You know,
Just a second, Mike. I get the technology here. Okay. Excuse me.
being here with a fellow survivor and having watched you go through your surgery, of course, you didn't tell me anything before those days, so I was in the dark too. And I've had some cancer surgery, and just how grateful I am for the people who have reached out. I know my wife attends a caretakers meeting every Tuesday, and what those people do is amazing. And if you're one of those caretakers, make sure you take care of yourself because it is a tough job. But thank you for those people that reach out. Howard, I appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you. And I like to just kind of, on this particular song, give a shout out to the artists and the singers who contributed this. So Sarah Diaz did that wonderful backup vocals. Sarah's a wonderful singer here in Santa Fe, a good friend of mine. On the harmonica, another good friend of mine, Michael Handler, Mr. Harmonica right here, one of the best harmonica players I know and ever played with, but he added his magic to this, as well as Ollie O'Shea on the violin, and who's just a wizard on the violin and the fiddle. And Ollie spends a lot of time in Nashville, tours a lot with the big names in Nashville, but also lives and has spent a lot of time here in New Mexico. So I just feel blessed whenever I can bring Ollie in on a project. And then finally, Johnny Alston is on Native American flute. Johnny plays in Santa Fe a lot. He plays down in the plaza. I met him for the first time. He was playing in the bandstand with Felix Wireless Gatos. And I said, wow, this guy is fantastic, you know. And I introduced myself. It's been a couple of years ago, and I said, yeah, I got some projects. He said, yeah, right. That's what everybody says, you know. But anyway, so he recorded on my last album, and then he recorded on this album, but he does a great job. And finally, Johnny Benoit is on the percussion. Johnny's a wizard on what he adds. But that's a great song, and it's really touched a lot of people. And it's amazing to me, every one of those folks added to the magic of the song. And that song's done real well. You know, touches a lot of people. But
well, it's certainly timely. At my age, it's timely anyway. But I just think in the current world, we need to be reaching out for each other. We need to be more humane. Music is the language to do that with. So let's love.
Yeah. I think one of the lessons learned I came out of from this whole song was the fact that there's a lot of people out there, and I was one of them, who don't share when they're in trouble, don't share when they're needing something, and maybe don't even know what they need. But, you never know. You just never know. But it's good to have a good friend, and that's actually a good lead into the next song.
That worked out well.
Yeah. This next song is a kind of a mountain song, kind of a bluegrass song. There's no drums or percussion to it. But it's written about a really good friend that I have up in Idaho, and a friend that goes back, for years and years and years to when we were kids. And it's nice to have those kind of friendships. And I think that's one of the magic I think I found from social media, is being able to reconnect with people, and share things that otherwise we would be in our past. We would have no contact. Anyway, so this is a little tune called My Best Friend.
Well, let's hear it, Howard.
All right. Let's see if I can make this work.
You're my best friend, my best friend. We've had our ups and downs together again. The years have passed, life has made us strong. I'm with you to the end, you're my best friend. I remember the day you called me to say hello from a lifetime ago with a new name I didn't know. We talked for a while, you made me smile with memories from a long time ago. You're my best friend, my best friend. We had our ups and downs together again. The years have passed, life has made us strong. I'm with you to the end, you're my best friend. As we talked and we text, messaged over time, we came together, felt so fine. Why we didn't get together long ago, how our lives would have been different, we'll never know. You're my best friend, my best friend. had our ups and downs. Together again, the years have passed. Life has made us strong. I'm with you to the end. You're my best friend. Years have gone by since that day. We shared our lives, talked our hours away, become best of friends, lovers and more. You touched my soul as only you can know. You're my best friend. You're my best friend. We had our ups and downs. Together again, the years have passed. Life has made us strong. I'm with you to the end. You're my best friend. You're my best friend. My best friend. Had our ups and downs. Together again, the years have passed. Life has made us strong. I'm with you to the end. I'm with you to the end. I'm with you to the end. You're my best friend.
That was a fun song to record. You know, Dave Devlin played mandolin on that and played dobro, and it was all recorded right here. You know, it was all recorded right here. And when I did, you know, like three guitar parts, a bass part, and when I was mixing it, I was listening to what Dave had done. I was like, wow, we don't need anything else. You know, that's good right there. And that song's done well for me too. But it's really kind of fun. You think about in life, you know, who's your best friend? Not just, you know, who you go play baseball with or something. And people sometimes are very, very lucky to marry their best friend. You know what I mean?
Well, I know very well.
Yeah, because I've known that's your case.
Yeah. Well, first I want to tell you about a friend, Dave Devlin,
Yeah.
that moved away from me. I used to go and sneak in the backyard and listen over the fence when he had his people over there playing, and it was great. So I miss Dave a lot, but I am married to my best friend, so I'm very fortunate that way, and my caretaker. So this whole album might be about her. The country girl.
You know, that's one of the things I've learned about writing, producing music is that you have your portion of what it's about, but when it goes out and people hear it, you know, they can interpret it to them, to their life. You know, and that's, I don't know who told me a long time ago, that they said, don't get too detailed on the lyrics that it can't be listened to and generalized to somebody else. And I found that so true, you know, and I, back when I started playing music, you know, again, back in, I don't know, 2010, 2011, something like that, I would come up and play with Paula Ray McDonald, and we would do things out on her area outside her gallery, and we'd play a lot of these original songs. I had Joe Mancuso, a shout out to Joe Mancuso, and him and I would do a duo, and I'd play my songs, and some of the people would come and listen. They would really listen, and it would touch them, you know. And sometimes they would listen, and it would cause them to shed a tear or two, and they'd come up and tell me later on. And the first time that somebody said, "Man, your song made me cry," I thought, well, that's not good, but it is good. You know, if you can touch an emotion, you know, with your music, I have found that that's good. That's the kind of music I like. Something that touches my emotions, you know.
Well, and what you do touches my emotions. And like I just said, I think these songs could be written about my family, my wife. So thank you for that, because I've been taking a lot of hot baths lately. and I've had these albums on listening to it. But I think about my wife while I'm doing that.
All right.
But that's My Best Friend. And now we're going to go Born into Darkness? What?
Well, you know, this is a song. I grew up in southeastern Idaho, out on a farm, 3 miles from where I went to high school, 5 miles from the nearest town that had a theater, you know, and so, you know, there was a lot I didn't know. And when I started playing music, I got a little bit of an education, because I played with adults. And then when I graduated from high school, I was fortunate to have a relationship with an agent. The agent put me to work and put me into situations to where I was able to work with some touring bands, and so I used to tour 50 weeks out of the year. And so what I found out, as soon as I graduated from high school, spent a couple weeks rehearsing with one of these bands, and boom, out on the road, you know. And then I spent a long time, and luckily, one of the main gigs that we played with the road bands happened to be in my hometown. But what I found out was there was just a lot I didn't know about life. And when you're out traveling 50 weeks a year and all over and we played pretty much the western United States, there's a lot that you learn. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about people who you think are your friends. You learn a lot about different things, you know. You grow up. And that's what this song's really about. And so and one of the things I was fortunate to do a little bit later was to get connected with some major blues artists that really inspired me to get back into playing music. And so this style of music, you know, with the slide guitar, was learned. I learned that from a gentleman. His name was John Cephas, and his band was Cephas and Wiggins, and he's a national blues treasure. You know, he's passed away now, but he's the one that kind of inspired me to think, you know, you can put music into your life after you're 30. You don't have to hang it up. And we're seeing that with Rolling Stones, right?
I've heard that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this little tune, this is all about traveling and learning, and it's called Traveling Man.
Traveling Man.
You ready?
I'm ready to do this.
I was born in the darkness, nothing clear to see. I was born in the darkness, nothing clear to see. Since I stood up, I seen the light. I'm a man is what I'll be. Well, I've been to Chicago, Carolina, and Tennessee. I've been to Chicago, Carolina, and Tennessee. Well, never did I realize what traveling do to me. Lost a home, wife, and family somewhere along the way. Lost a home, wife, and family somewhere along the way. I was born a traveling man. Traveling man is what I'll say. Well, I roll and I tumble, traveled my whole life through. I I rolled and I tumbled, traveled my whole life through. I never did realize what traveling leads me to. That's right.
Traveling Man. That one I can tell you is 100% true.
And on this album, that is a song that I can identify with that well. Because I got out of high school, I went to college locally, stayed at home,
Yeah.
sweet, innocent boy. But I did travel with the AA ball team one summer. So we were out on the road, and I understand about some of those stresses and how hard that can be traveling.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a challenge, you know, but it was a good experience, learned a lot. Some hard lessons, you know, but that's what you grow from, right?
Well, you do, and if you're able to stay out of trouble and become an adult during those learnings,
Yeah,
then you're all right.
that's true.
So
That's
many of my friends didn't make it all the way through those times.
Well, I saw a lot of that in that music business, let me tell you. You know, the years I spent as a full-time touring musician, I saw a little bit of everything and learned a lot of lessons, and I appreciate all those, made some great friends, and learned about who to stay away from.
You've had some challenging time in your life. I know listening to some of your other songs like Three Angels or Jimmy's song, you know, there's a lot going on, and you have a lot of experiences that he brings forward and shares with us, and I appreciate that. If you can identify with those songs, you get those emotions. And if you're like me, I'm enjoying the music in that one and glad it's the country girl that works for us. So the harp on that is just amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about
Handler is a harp player on there again, and he played on all of the harps on this. He's just a fantastic harp player. Has a band, Santa Fe Blues Review here in town. Does all kinds of things. He has a radio show. But on this particular album, he recorded harmonic. He also recorded some cajon. You know, so he's also a percussionist. He plays drums. And he's a multi-talented character. You know, no doubt about it.
I'm sure I understand real well, but could you tell them what a cajon is?
A cajon is an instrument. It looks like a box, and it's a percussion instrument. The percussionist sits on it and bends over and strikes the box. Depending on where they strike it, it creates a certain sound.
Okay.
So it's a very cool thing. And Michael, he recorded the cajon on this next song. That was a great lead-in, actually, Michael.
That works out well.
Yeah.
Excuse that noise there. Okay, well, so this next song we have coming up is Broke My Heart.
This is, you know, there's some love songs, and there's the opposite side of love, and that's when you break up or in the process of going two different directions. So that's what this song is about. This song is the opposite of a love song, but it's kind of a love song because that's part of it, right? Nothing is always 100%, but unless, of course, you're married to your best friend. But this is a cool song. Michael Handler on cajon, and Michael also on the harp, I believe. Yeah. So it's called "You Broke My Heart."
Broke my heart when you set me free. You broke my heart, it didn't need to be. Stop without a word, quit loving me. It all began years ago. You You reached out your hand, you moved real slow. I fell for you with all my soul. You broke my heart when you set me free. You broke my heart, it didn't need to be. Stop without a word, quit loving me. Was there another man, another girl? What changed our lives? What changed our world? I remember you like no other girl. One day we were lovers, one day we were friends. One day you stopped talking, it was the end. I'm feeling down, feeling blue. The woman that I loved couldn't love me too. The woman that I loved so much couldn't love me too.
You ever had your heart broke, Mike?
Well, I have, and it is tough.
It is tough, yeah.
It's, yeah. It's nice though to understand that most of us go through that at some time or another,
Yeah,
and that we can recover that with the power of us, maybe.
that's true.
So we got to take a step back.
That's true.
I read a statistic this week that 1 out of 3 adults cheats in their relationship. And I don't know if it's my wife or my girlfriend. Come on, Mike, hit that percussion.
Boom. No, it's true. It's interesting. And this is a true song. And I can honestly say that, I've been very, very fortunate in the area that I've only had my heart broke once. I think as I look back I have probably broke a few hearts, but I have only had my heart broke once.
Okay.
And it really opens your eyes when you experience that. It absolutely does, so it's kind of a real thing.
Yeah. My wife and I talk about people going through life now, and we meet some real jerks. But we always wonder, what are they going through? And
Right.
especially in these times. But you don't know.
You never know.
Never know.
It's so true. You never know. And you should be kind and treat everyone with respect, I think. And that's my motto anyway, so. But I've got another song I like to do, and this is a true song. And a lot of us have children. A lot of us have children that sometimes go in the military. So this is a song about one of my children who went into the Army, and then it was really pretty cool, when some of the veterans coming back, we lived down in Rio Rancho at the time, but one of the channels, Channel 7, would say, if you've got someone from the Armed Forces coming back, let us know, and then we'll set up, and then we'll do a thing right there at the airport, right out of security, with cameras and balloons, and it's just like the greatest thing. And we did that for my son, and I think it blew him away. But it was like a Hollywood return, which our country hasn't always done a great job with that, particularly with our Vietnam vets. But nowadays it's a little different. So this is a little bit about my son coming back from Afghanistan, and so it's called Home Again. See if I can make this work.
Home again.
home again. Left for war as a boy, returned as a man. Seems like only yesterday he was playing out back with friends. My son's alive, standing tall, home again. I remember when he raised his hand to protect you and me. He was young, too naive to see the danger that could be. He traveled to distant lands, slept in holes in the desert sand somewhere along the way. My son became a man. He's home again. Left for war as a boy, returned as a man. Seems like only yesterday he was playing that back with friends. My son's alive, standing tall, home again. The day he came home was news on TV. There was a crowded camera, his mother and me. He walked out in his uniform, a different person to see. We all shouted, "Welcome home." It was where he wanted to be. He's home again. Left for war as a boy, returned as a man. Seems like only yesterday he was playing out back with friends. My son's alive, standing tall, home again. Now my son has a child, new baby on the way, a good wife that loves him. He's home to stay. He's a good man with a steady hand. Nightmares now and then, there's a price to pay. On the road to become a man, he's home again. Left for war as a boy, returned as a man. Seems like only yesterday he was playing out back with friends. My son's alive, standing tall, home again. Ooh, ooh, home again.
Okay, home again.
I don't know how well you can see out there, but as I watch Howard, I can see in you, Howard. You can see all that music being produced, the keyboard, you can hear the guitar, and I see you there. But deeper than that, I see the pride you have in your son. You were there at the airport. He's in that uniform. And you put the marching drums in the beginning of that. I love that. It's so creative.
Thank you.
That's wonderful, Howard. And
Thank you.
I love that you put your heart into it.
Well, thank you. Johnny Benoit playing the drums and Dave Devlin on the steel. But thank you so much. And my son just heard that song for the first time about 3 weeks ago. And it's a tough situation when we send our people off to war.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not what you think. It's not like the movies. And there's a price that you pay. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
And it's so good when we can welcome them back and support them and love them, and you know, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
It does. Did I tell you I have a new album coming out in the future? My next album project?
No, you're going to do more music?
Believe it or
I
not.
thought you'd accomplished it with this.
You're stuck.
Look, this is coming out the 30th of the month. Do you need more than this?
Well, I'm always working about 2 albums ahead. So my next album, and it'll come out next year. It's going to be an all blues album, and it's so funny that there's some of these songs I've played with for a long time, and I have to tell you all a secret is that with Michael here, it has a copy of, and the only copy of my very first album that was done 16 years ago, that was never released. And some of those original songs on that will be on this new album. But it's going to be all blues. It's going to be all with local players between Albuquerque, and Santa Fe, and Taos. And it's going to be a combination of Chicago blues, country blues, Delta blues, different kinds of things. It's going to be a lot of fun. But the album is going to be called I Didn't Pick the Blues Picked Me. And it's true. The first time I was exposed to the blues, I was 14 years old, and I was playing in a band with a bunch of adults that knew all about the blues, and I had never even seen anything like it. And the blues has always resonated with me. There's something that is so true about the blues, and people say, the blues are easy, but they're not. They're not at all. But it touches, and so the blues, a big part of my life, and I'm really looking forward to get started on. I've got all the songs written, got all the lyrics, and I've got about 75% of the music, and I'll probably start recording in about 3 months. But I'm really looking forward to doing that. Didn't pick the blues picked me.
Well, Smoky Mountain Music Creations is excited you're going to do that, and I understand your albums are available at Candyman right now.
At Candyman, people can contact me at Dr. Hall at gmail.com, and you can get some through me. You can also go online, iTunes, Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Reverb Nation, all of the normal digital download distributors. My music's on there. If you happen to have an echo, you can go up the echo and say, and I'm going to say this really quiet so my echo doesn't do it. You can say, Alexa, play some Dr. Hall, and she'll play some Dr. Hall for you. But what I'd like to do is, with all the blues, I wrote a little tune on this album called The Same Old Blues. And this has got touches on some of the classic blues.
So, blues again, you're going to put on your blues glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And when people get online on that interweb thing, they find you at drhall.com. But how do you spell doctor? Is there a period in there? Is it abbreviated?
Either way, DR Hall or DR period Hall. It gets you the same way, either way.
Okay.
And you can go, like I say, if you go on iTunes, you can see all my albums and singles and all that stuff. It's been quite an experience doing online digital distribution, and I have a great distributor who does all the work with all these different entities, so I don't have to do any of that. It's just the money comes rolling in. Now, you can make tens of dollars, like tens of dollars. It's amazing.
Well, I know you offered to take me to McDonald's after this, so
that's true.
You must be raking it in.
That's true. There's no doubt about it. But this is a nice tune. It's got a little edge to it, and it features Michael Handler on harp, and a lot of fun to do. And it's got some classic blues licks that I learned from listening to old blues artists, like Muddy Waters and some of that stuff. Nothing much changes in the blues, but it's one of those things where you give your respect to the people that came before you and where it really came from. And so much of it came from, the culture of the South,
Well, those guys, they bent those notes so much, we'll never straighten this thing out.
That's
so
true.
More Same Old Blues.
That's true. So let me get this dialed up, and hope you enjoy this. Same Old Blues. See them every day. The same old blues. Can there be another way? I woke up this morning, got out of my bed, got the same old blues playing in my head.
have mercy. Got the same old blues. Well, I've been to the crossroads many times in my life. I've been to the crossroads, one day I'll get it right. Seen hard luck and trouble more every day. My baby left home this morning, I'm in a bad, bad way. Have mercy. Got the same old blues. Now listen here. It was storming on Monday when I crawled out of bed. Storming on Monday, can't believe the words she said. We've been together a long time, good times and bad. Now my life is just a memory, one that's fading fast. Have mercy. Got the same old blues. Oh yeah. Now listen here. The thrill is gone. I want to get it back. The thrill is gone. I need to get it back. I'm working hard to be a better man. Working every day. Can't wait. Have mercy, Lord. Help me find a better way. Got them same old blues. Okay.
Wow.
Same old blues.
Same old
That was a
blues.
lot of fun. Michael Handler killed that song on the harp, and Johnny Benoit on the drums killed it. You know, so much fun to do.
That harp just takes me to another place.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's so great. But Michael does such a great job, you know. And there's some other great blues harp players here. One of which is Mexico Lopez here, a lot of known as we all known as Freddie. But there's some good harmonica players in the area. Joe Mancuso's another. Joe Mancuso, I hope to get on a future project. He's down in Albuquerque. He played a lot with me down there. But the blues music's so fun, you know. So
Yeah, I
fun.
think I remember Joe playing with you out in Rio Rancho area.
Rio Rancho and the
When we
Paulus
first go into town.
Gallery up
Yeah.
here. You know, when I do an album, one of the things I look for is I write songs all the time, and the songs oftentimes are random. They come in, and I've got actually a little app on my phone, and I catch them. And sometimes it's a title, sometimes it's a word or a phrase, and then the challenge is to come up with a theme to kind of put it together if you're going to put an album out. You know, and we all grew up with albums, right? Well, the world a lot of times now, you know, people can get online and buy singles. They don't have to buy the whole album. So it's kind of a different deal, but I still like to put out albums. And the theme for this one is called "The Long Road Home." You know, this project here, "Long Road Home," and it has a lot of different meanings to it. And like one of the things is, where do you consider your home? Where do you consider your home, Michael?
That is interesting because I've spent the last 5 years, except for some cancer treatments, traveling around in a 24-foot camp trailer. But home is where my best friend is, and we have a chance to do adventure together.
Yeah, that's great.
So-
You know, it's so interesting when you know, if you ask somebody, what do you consider your home? Is it where you grew up? Is it where you went to school? Is it where you're at today? Or is it with another, like you said, with your best friend, you know, wherever you're at? But it's a complicated thing. Sometimes people have a lot of complicated feelings about where they grew up, how they grew up, all those kinds of things. And sometimes I've got a couple friends in Santa Fe here from different parts of the country, and when they came to Santa Fe, they felt a draw here to Santa Fe. They didn't really know anybody, but for some reason they felt a draw to Santa Fe, the area, and to New Mexico. It's kind of fascinating. You know anybody like that?
We see it all the time. You know, living in Santa Fe, all of a sudden your friends and cousins that lived back east, they all want to come see you, and some of them won't go away.
That's pretty funny. Well, we're blessed to have that right here. And so when I think about where is my home, you know, I'm blessed to have had some great homes. You know, growing up in Idaho growing up out on a farm and a cattle ranch was really great experience. Going to a little tiny school with less than 80 people in my class was, you know, and looking back, was a really great experience. You know, coming down here to New Mexico when I did in the early 90s, and for professional reasons, you know, and kind of relocating was quite a challenge. Even though I traveled all over the country playing music, it's different when you're somewhere for a week or two versus actually living in a place. But, you know, it's so interesting, the concept of home. It really is. And that's what this song is about, you know. And I don't know what your experience was. Where did you grow up, Mike?
Well, I grew up in New Mexico,
Okay.
mostly Albuquerque, so we've been around here for quite a while.
Yeah.
And you're talking about friends, too, and best friends. You're not my best friend. I just told you my wife is.
Right.
But Howard and I are excellent friends. And it's a real privilege for me to be here with you tonight, representing Smoky Mountain Music Creations.
Well, thank you.
This is an exciting time because I know this is going to be part of a showcase, and there's a lot more going on with that. Would you want to tell us a little bit about what's coming up?
Actually, let's play this next song, and then we'll talk about that other project after that.
So we're coming home first, going home.
We're going the long road home here. Here we go.
Take the first step, do it today. You're miles away from home, you don't want to stay. It's been so long, it's a memory. Get back to your roots, to your family. Going home, going home. You can be gone without leaving town. Be miles away with people around. You can be close when you're far away. Do you reach out when there's something to say? Can you go home? You're home. Take the first step, do it today. You're miles away from home, you don't want to stay. It's been so long, it's a memory. Get back to your roots, to your family. Going home. I couldn't wait to leave it when I was young. I was out on the road having fun. So many years have come and gone. Good times now with my son. Can I go home? Can I go home? Well, take the first step, do it today. You're miles away from home, you don't want to stay. It's been so long, it's a memory. Get back to your roots, to your family. Going home. Step, do it today. You're miles away from home, you don't want to stay. It's been so long, it's a memory. Get back to your roots, to your family. Can you go home? Can you turn it around? Can you jump in your car, put the hammer down? Can you go back to your memory? It's a long, long road home. Long road home.
The Long Road Home. Great violin work, fiddle work, Ollie O'Shea. Johnny Alston on Native American flute. And Johnny Benoit on drums. Some really great work there. Kind of a little bittersweet, kind of little there. You know, it's a complicated world we live in. Our lives are complicated.
Yeah, we must all think about going home, but then trying to understand what home really is.
It is.
It's tough.
It is, absolutely. But yeah, I've got some projects. Right now I'm considering Santa Fe my home. I moved to Santa Fe in January. I've lived in New Mexico since 1992, but actually moved to Santa Fe in January of this year. And I'm excited. I'm also being more active in music than I have in a long, long time, getting these albums. And we started this publishing company, as you know. And so we're doing a lot. And it's so interesting with digital downloads, distribution of digital music. This stuff goes worldwide, you know, and so you can literally make tens of dollars, you know. But it's cool because, you know, when I got the first shipment of this album, the next day I was shipping albums out from coast to coast. You know, and not everybody has a way to even play CDs now. So, you know, it used to be we'd order a bajillion copies of a CD and then, you know, sell them. And now it's like, well, I don't order it like that anymore. So I have another order actually coming in this week. But it's interesting. But one of the things for me is music now is a passion, always been a passion, but it used to be my living, and music was really good to me. Yeah. When I was a touring musician, you know, I paid the mortgage, fed my kids, all that stuff. It was it was very, very good to me, and it was a passion, but it's different. And now it's still a passion. I don't need to worry about paying my mortgage. But one of the things that I find is that I've been so fortunate that it's nice to be able to give back a little bit. And one of the things that I'm going to start doing, as you know, is, and we announced this a couple weeks ago with the Candyman songwriter showcase we did, was that I'm going to start doing a monthly songwriter showcase where I play a couple songs of mine, but I also bring in a local artist. And we're going to do those once a month. And we're actually recording the first one tomorrow night with my good friend Paula Ray McDonald. Paula Ray. And you know Paula Ray McDonald, right?
Oh, I love Paula Ray McDonald. And her life has changed so much about the time this quarantine started, and she's just blossoming to a new level. That June bug, she's a wonderful lady.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, you know, and I know Paula Ray really well. And when I first met Paula, she had just recorded her first album, and we were we were at a music event, a songwriter showcase kind of a thing, and it was done in El Dorado. And she was just sitting to my right, and at the end, she was talking and gave us copies of her album, and she's a sweetheart. She's an absolute sweetheart. You know, and she's has lived in Santa Fe here for a long time. Writes one of her songs. Actually, her and I have written one song together. It's on her second album. She'll be recording that for the show. But I'm really excited to have Paula come in. But we're going to do that every month. So can I tell you who's going to? So I've got this book for 16 months, and Paula is going to be our artist for July. And in August, we have Bart Edrington, and a lot of you may know Bart, a great artist, great folk artist, comes from Arkansas. Bill Palmer, I don't know if you know Bill Palmer or not. Bill Palmer is a great artist, songwriter, engineer, producer, and has his own recording company here in town. Robin Oxley will be playing in October. Bill's playing in September. Robin Oxley, again, a wonderful artist, has a cover band, the Widow Oxley. She also writes and performs her own original music. Winley Ludlow will be in November. Michael Handler will be in December. And then some of the artists, I won't go through the details of what month. Lucy Barna, Mark Malin, Mike Montiel, Marianne Rosemary, Stephanie Hatfield, Murali Levine, Jake Jones. There's some of the ones that we'll be playing next year. So I'm really looking forward to that. I spent 3 years in California, and we did a monthly songwriter showcase, but it was live, and it really was a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to spotlighting local artists and making new friends and kind of supporting music. One of the other things we're going to do, and we're going to try to do this quarterly, is to do a guitar poll. You know what a guitar poll is?
I do not know. You tie it between two tractors?
Well, that could be. But a guitar poll is a Nashville term where you get multiple singer-songwriters there. And it used to be there was only one guitar. So I'd play the guitar, then I'd
Have to hand it off.
So we're going to start doing those. But originally I'd scheduled them to start in August. But I think we're going to push that back a little bit because of the COVID-19 situation. So we're going to do those quarterly. And that'll usually be 4 different singer-songwriters, again, people that have got some original music, things they want to share, and it'll be like an hour program for 4 people, and all done through YouTube. So, you know, the YouTube, and this is being viewed on YouTube right now, that's kind of blown me away a little bit, the whole deal of how we do music online.
So everyone needs to subscribe to your channel.
Yep. I also will post these things to Facebook so that you can hear it without subscribing.
So, okay.
But that's you know, it's a different way to do music. And one of the challenges, one of the things I'm asking all the artists is, how do you monetize this? You know, how do you monetize this? And a lot of our full-time musicians around town and around the country have kind of figured that out. There's some different things. So I'm asking the artists to, you know, I'm suggesting to them that they come up with something so we can share that, so that, you know, if someone's listened to a program, that if they want that to donate something to the artist, not required, but if they want to do that, there's a way to do that. And so like PayPal is one way to do that. Venmo is another way to do that. Patreon is another way to do that. So that's just one of the things I'm asking the artists to think about if they would like to, you know, to have that opportunity. I know that that's working well for a lot of people. We want it to work well, particularly our artists that do this full time and are making a living out of this. So,
yeah. Well, Howard, I've been following you for a long time. We used to work together in past lives. We won't go into that. But I know nothing about music. When I grew up, we did not have a record player. We had no music. And you've inspired me. I've spent $1,000 on guitars to keep in my closet. I even have a couple American flutes, Native American flutes.
Very cool.
And they look really nice.
Very cool.
But I appreciate you so much because you put so much love into your music, so much passion, maybe is a better word.
Thank you.
And I hope you're feeling that passion out there. But besides that love that he gives through his music, Howard, I see you supporting other artists. It's not about developing Dr. Hall. You are there thinking, hey, the better we all do, we'll go together. And I love that. You are working with a community. You're putting this showcase together. It was a big deal out in California. I remember going to a little dive out there and hearing some gal sing, and it was just wonderful. And you are helping a lot of artists. And I hope all of you out there, make sure you subscribe to this channel and get your friends to subscribe to it, because this is some music you can have around with you.
It is, and most of these artists that will be showcased have the same thing.
Yeah.
And particularly those that are deriving a living from this, that's the way to support them. And we want to support the arts in Santa Fe. Santa Fe is a great place for creativity, and whether it be art is in paintings or art is in music or dance. And it's a wonderful place. That's where so many of us come here for. But thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Being here with Howard Hall is really special. I'm glad to represent Smoky Mountain Music Creations tonight. They're putting together they're publishing good music. And so you need that music out there in your life, and turn on your friends. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I would give you a handshake, but let's do an elbow bump instead. Okay.